Real Madrid has never been the easiest place for young players to thrive. But under Xabi Alonso, a new chapter is being written, one where names once thought to be lost in the whirlwind of superstardom are now emerging as genuine stars. With a unique blend of tactical modernity and human insight, Alonso is building a development ecosystem where young talents like Gonzalo Garcia, Fran Garcia, and Arda Güler are not just surviving, but evolving. They're growing in both footballing maturity and mental resilience, nurtured in a system that values potential and purpose over profile and popularity. The first name that demands attention is Gonzalo Garcia, just 20 years old. He's not one of those overhyped prodigies the media fawns over. In fact, Gonzalo quietly rose through the ranks of Real Madrid Castilla and was promoted to the first team in 2023, though barely featured under Carlo Ancelotti. But with the arrival of Xabi Alonso, everything changed. Rather than focusing on flaws, Alonso saw untapped potential, a striker with sharp instincts and incredible off-the-ball movement. And instead of molding Gonzalo into something else, Alonso reshaped the system to unlock what was already there. Recently, Gonzalo is the focal point of the attack, but not as a traditional target man stuck to the penalty box or a false nine forced to drop deep. Instead, he's been freed to roam, swapping positions with players like Guler and Valverde, and often dropping into midfield to link up play. The result? Gonzalo has evolved into more than a finisher. He's a connector, a trigger for intelligent and layered attacking sequences. Take his opening goal against Dortmund, a one-touch finish that didn't come from luck, but from habits Alonso has embedded in his game. Reading the play, attacking space, and anticipating before the ball arrives. That goal marked Gonzalo's fourth of the tournament, putting him joint top scorer alongside Angel Di Maria and Marcos Leonardo. But Alonso couldn't care less about the numbers. In the post-match press conference, he simply said, he knows how to be in the right place at the right time. Perhaps the strongest sign of faith? Even with Kylian Mbappe fit and ready to start, Alonso stuck with Gonzalo. At most clubs, a youngster would be the first to give way for a superstar. But in Alonso's Real Madrid, nothing is guaranteed, except performance. Reputation takes a backseat to form, efficiency, and system fit. That's how confidence is built. That's how a new order takes shape, where merit speaks louder than fame. When Real Madrid re-signed Fran Garcia from Rayo Vallecano in 2023, many fans dismissed it as a stopgap solution. With Ferland Mendy plagued by injuries and other targets like Alphonso Davies and Miguel Gutierrez out of reach, Fran looked like a convenient patch rather than a long-term answer. But time and Alonso's vision have proved otherwise. Fran isn't just a left-back. In Alonso's system, he's become a tactical chess piece, a vital cog in a fluid machine. Under Ancelotti, Fran was used in a traditional role, an up-and-down fullback who hugs the touchline and delivers crosses. It was a role that never quite suited him. His pace, spatial awareness, and agility weren't exceptional enough to shine in that old-school mold. But Alonso saw something different. Instead of asking Fran to stay wide, Alonso gave him freedom to drift inside. An inverted fullback, almost a left-sided midfielder at times, helping circulate possession through central areas. Suddenly, Fran didn't need to sprint up and down constantly. He just needed to be in the right spots at the right moments. This role unlocked a new version of Fran. His link-ups with Guler and Tchouaméni became smoother, sharper. His quick decision-making stood out. And in the game against Dortmund, it all came together. His goal didn't come from a wide run or an overlapping cross, but from a perfectly timed underlapping run into the box, a move straight out of Alonso's blueprint. But Alonso's belief in Fran goes beyond tactics. It's psychological. When rumors swirled about Real Madrid preparing a €50 million move for Álvaro Carreras from Benfica, Alonso said nothing. Instead, he let Fran start every big match at the FIFA Club World Cup. No fanfare, just trust. Because for Alonso, Fran isn't a stopgap. He's part of the answer, not just to left-back issues, but to the evolution of Real Madrid's playing identity. If Gonzalo Garcia represents trust and efficiency, and Fran Garcia embodies adaptability, then Arda Güler is the clearest expression of how Xabi Alonso nurtures creativity. At a club famously demanding, especially with players driven by flair and instinct, Guler being allowed to play his own way is a bold testament to Alonso's dual role, part tactician, part mentor. Under Carlo Ancelotti, Guler had flashes of brilliance, but was often treated as a secondary option. Alonso, however, placed him at the very heart of Real Madrid's attack, not as a classic playmaker, but as a conduit of inspiration. Whether drifting in from the right, operating as a number 10, or pulling wide to stretch the defense, Guler plays with freedom and unpredictability. He doesn't need many touches, but when he's on the ball, you feel something's about to happen. His assist for Gonzalo Garcia against Dortmund is the perfect example. It wasn't a hopeful cross. It wasn't a cutback. It was a deftly placed curling pass, just enough to glide past the defender, and just precise enough to meet Gonzalo's perfectly timed run, a moment of art disguised as simplicity. But what sets Alonso apart is that he doesn't try to tame Guler's flair. Instead, he surrounds the young Turk with structure, anchors like Tchouaméni, Valverde, and Fran Garcia, who provide the balance and security that allow Guler to roam free. That freedom isn't chaos, it's a carefully managed ecosystem designed to amplify creativity without punishing risk. Psychology matters too. In front of the media, Alonso always protects Guler, defending him from criticism about fitness or defensive work. Behind closed doors, he encourages boldness. He wants Guler to try, to take risks, even if it means losing the ball. And because of that trust, a player once labeled as too raw is now becoming Real Madrid's creative engine in decisive moments. Under Alonso, Guler isn't just developing, he's being unleashed. But Alonso's influence goes beyond young stars. He's doing something even harder, restoring value to players who were once misused or misunderstood. Take Fede Valverde, a familiar name to Madridistas, but one who's been shuffled around. Central midfield, right wing, even fullback. Alonso has brought him back to his core identity, a modern box-to-box midfielder, capable of pressing high, supporting attacks, and delivering stinging shots from distance. Against Dortmund, Valverde was the metronome when Madrid slowed the tempo in the second half. He kept possession safe, shielded players like Guler and Modric, and was ready to burst forward when the counter-attack called. Even Dean Huijsen, despite a recent red card, is a case study in Alonso's long-term vision. The young Spanish center-back has shown all the traits of a modern defender: clean distribution, smart positioning, and tight marking in confined areas. Alonso continues to give him chances, not because he's proven, but because he's growing. Experience in Alonso's eyes isn't just about age, it's about how much you learn from every match. Zooming out, it's clear. Alonso is turning squad players into system players, role fillers into difference makers. That's the beauty of his method. It's comprehensive. He doesn't chase superstars. He's not swayed by transfer market noise. He observes, adapts, and empowers. And in doing so, Real Madrid is becoming something deeper, a team with both tactical depth and strategic direction. Under Xabi Alonso, Real Madrid isn't just winning. They're being rebuilt, reborn. This is no longer a team leaning on 2 or 3 exceptional individuals to carry the rest. This is a collective of players, each being elevated in skill, mindset, and belief. Perhaps the most profound shift Alonso is engineering is how this team sees itself. Not who is the star, but how does each of us matter? That shift makes Madrid stronger, not just today, but for years to come. It lays the foundation for a new era of sustainable success. And in an age where most managers are obsessed with quick results, Alonso is taking the slower road, but the right one. Step by step, he's transforming Real Madrid into a learning organization, one that adapts, evolves, and wins by improving every individual. That's not just the mark of a great coach. That's the signature of a true architect of the future.